Hello everyone, welcome back. In my last video I talked about super jumps, and today we will be learning how to super jump, so let's get into it. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to go over is what a super jump actually is, and then we're going to go over settings. So all a super jump really is, and these are kind of like the things you have, is you have to be on the ground at some point, right? So for this to actually happen, you have to be on the ground, you have to be able to interact, and then you have to be able to input your buttons, whichever they are. So just remember, if you jump into it, if you jump and then you try to do it, you're not going to go as far. It's not going to be a full super jump, right? So, oh my gosh, I can't even do it without yeah, so if you're just in the air, it doesn't work at all. So
Best get
that's the
myself
first
a wee
thing that you kind of
upgrade.
have to remember when you're going
Wouldn't
over
want
this.
Rick
Because a
getting
lot of
ahead of
people,
me.
especially when they practice on
I'm
this
a
too,
make like a
sometimes
black
over
hole
here,
and
you're going to have
spotted
problems
what we
with
science
people
folk call
just
a
running off
baddie.
and not being able to do it. They're going to run off the ledge,
Let's
and
avoid
then
here.
they're going to miss because they're going to be in the air, and they're going to be like, what the heck, why didn't it work? Except I'm doing it in coyote time, so it's not working correctly. But yeah. This is a good one to practice on. I would suggest
Zipline
practicing
here.
on this one over practicing on that one. That one's not as good, despite it being more. Alright, so the next thing we're going to go over is going to be our settings that you're going to need. And for controller, it's really just, I would suggest doing it on your paddles, because you actually need to hit your jump button twice. So it's really just a double tap. So when you would interact with this, you would double tap your button, whichever you're doing for controller, right? That's literally it. For your settings on MNK, all it is just binding one of your jumps to your scroll wheel. If you are insane, then you can try to do it without, and just try to time it correctly.
An upgrade would put a pep in my
Very
step.
hard, not easy to do. I don't even know if I can do it. But yeah, there you go. So now on to actually doing the super jump. All we're going to do is just interact and scroll wheel through it. That's it. You can even just hold. For me, it's E, but you just hold your interact key and you can just scroll through it. That's it. It's really easy. At least for MNK players. For controller, you're just gonna have to take the time to learn this. It's not going to be something that you're going to get right off the bat, especially with hitting your double inputs. I highly suggest doing it on paddles rather than on if you're playing claw. Then props to you. It's much easier on paddles for them, just because of the travel distance that you have to go when you actually press the button. Pressing on one of the buttons, on a PlayStation controller or on an Xbox controller, the travel of the button is really long, unless you have the clicky kits or the Battle Beaver controller clicky kit.
Ooh, an upgrade
Those
would
will
put a
make it
pep
easier
in my
in which you
step.
could use it. Some of the things to keep in mind with your super jumps, you may do a super jump, but if you're looking down, well, don't do that. But if you're looking down, you actually will go further down, and you might not make it. You can kind of control the distance you go and the height you go with the way you're looking, right? The perfect one is literally just straightforward. That'll put you pretty much the max distance and height you can go. Or not height, sorry. Max distance. But if you want to go a bit lower, you could just look down, or if you want to go a bit higher, you can look up. It changes it just enough to be able to make certain moves work, which is how metal jumping works. The other things you can kind of do with this, for at least for MK players, this will be pretty easy. For controller players, good luck. You can basically just hold E and go through this, and re-grab it a whole bunch of times if you really wanted to. Kind of like how you see a lot of
select an
other
upgrade.
videos and people doing that. It's literally just holding it and scrolling through it. You have to flick back quickly. You basically have to be able to have this yellow zip line in your view the whole time to be able to do it. And so yeah, there's your little tutorial of super jumping.